Hello and welcome back to the SoonerScoop.com YouTube channel. Eddie Radosevich, George Stoya here. Oklahoma loses its third consecutive game. Fall to what now? 1-4 in conference play, 4-4 overall. We'll get plenty into it here on the Instant Reaction presented by Academy Sports and Outdoors. Has all the gear you need from the top brands, all at the prices you'll love. And now shopping at Academy is more convenient than ever. We offer free assembly on in-store purchases of most bikes and grills, plus free and easy 1-hour curbside pickup on academy.com orders. Want to save even more every day? Do you?
Yes.
Okay. Open and use an Academy Sports and Outdoors credit card to get 5% off future purchases.
Nice.
When you're approved. Save time and money at Academy Sports and Outdoors and have fun out there. It was kind of fun for a little bit today. Oklahoma, certainly gave up a touchdown on the opening possession of the game, but then all of a sudden here comes Jackson Arnold storming back, and there was a lot of really good. Obviously, they moved the ball better today in Joe John Finley's debut as offensive play caller, but once again, it's an offensive line that gives up 9 sacks on the afternoon, and you said the number while we were walking over here to do the instant reaction, 38 sacks now on the season. It's simply put one of the worst offensive lines that Oklahoma's maybe ever put out on a field, and I'm not – that's just factual. That's statistically. Just let's start here, George. Just your overall thoughts. I mean, it was a game that Oklahoma ended up walking into the locker room. It's 14-10. Jacob Sexton has an injury, and it just kind of went to shit in the second half.
Yeah, it really did go to shit. I think that for me, you had a lot of good stuff in the first half. I mean, if you get that first half the rest of the way, hey, maybe you could win a football game or two down the stretch here, right? I mean, I thought sitting there at halftime thinking, man, like we saw a lot of really good stuff. Yes, the defense gave up the early touchdown, and you thought, oh boy, this is going in the wrong direction. But then the offense responds. They go all the way down the field. They don't convert on the 4th down and 1, I believe it was.
That's right.
But then
Miss Bauer sharp in the end zone, and not a do you take the points there with as bad as they've been?
No.
Are you going to get back down? I'd like being exactly. Yeah. I like being a little bit get after it a little bit. You have to be aggressive.
Yeah, you're a 20-point dog. You got to go for it. I didn't love the play call. I saw what they were going for there, kind of a fake play action, pop pass type thing there. But then you like how they respond. The defense gets the 3 and out. Offense goes right back down the field and scores. Jackson Arnold, really good. And then right before half, Eddie, that was where I was like, man, maybe this team's figured it out. They get the stop on 4th down. The defense does. And then Oklahoma goes right down the field. Jackson Arnold makes a great play, finds Jacob Jordan, who I believe Jacob Jordan and J.J. Hester were the only 2 wide receivers to catch a pass today for Oklahoma, which is just insane. The wide receiver room is still just not very good. Jacob Jordan, though, I thought played well. The rest of the guys, not so much. Brennan Thompson was open a few times. Jackson just didn't see him. But, I mean, the story of this game, Eddie, for me is the offensive line. Sure. Just a total disaster, horrific, pretty pathetic, honestly, from the offensive line down the stretch. And I think part of it's tough because they were playing really well when Jacob Sexton was in the game.
Exactly.
And the moment he went down, and we'll see how bad of an injury it is.
It was the first play.
Yeah.
And the guy just runs around. I forget who it was, but he just runs right around Logan Holland.
Number 1, I can't pronounce his last name.
Princely.
Yep. He's very good player. Goes right by Logan Howland. And look, Logan's a young player, hasn't played a lot. Tough spot to come in, but it just fell apart for him in the second half, and then the rest of the offensive line. And part of that's, Oklahoma gets down 2 scores, which the defense wasn't very good either, giving up a lot of chunk plays. But Ole Miss just got after him, and they really weren't even bringing extra pressure half the time either. I think the Oklahoma offensive line just finally got worn down. They were able to run the football most of the day. It was in pass protection, especially in the 3rd and 4th quarter. I think they gave up, it was 5 sacks in the 4th quarter. There was one sequence where I think they gave up 4 and 5 plays,
right.
Which is just not good. It's terrible.
I don't know. It's still a 2-score game at that point. It was a lot like the Tennessee game after they went up by 9, Mississippi, that is. It just never felt like you're going to have the offense to be able to get back into the game.
No, and the other problem was, too, Eddie, the defense got a couple stops in the second half. They were really bad at times in the second half, especially, the opening drive of the game was bad. The opening drive of the second half was really bad. Giving up multiple plays. Kenai Walker just got burnt a few times. Ended up getting benched, and I believe they rolled with Eli Bowen the rest of the way over there on that side. Des Malone played quite a bit in the second half too. Jacoby Johnson. I'm interested to see what they do at corner because that's clearly a weak spot. They also lost the tight end a lot today. It felt like the tight ends were running wide open for Ole Miss.
Priestcorn was wide open the entire day, it felt like.
Yeah, I mean, it was. I don't know if there was a miscommunication there, if they weren't ready for that. But the defense definitely had its own lapses today. Obviously, the focus is going to be on the offense and only scoring 14 points, not scoring in the second half. I don't think they had a first down in the third quarter even, maybe one in the third quarter. But and the fumble was a big play early in the game.
I mean, the fumble thing is just unbelievable that every time that you get an opportunity to maybe get a little bit of momentum, you give it right back. And it was because somebody, from what I could see, it looked like somebody just came unblocked.
Yeah, Wee Woo was pulling around, got tripped up, and just wasn't there in time, and nobody touched him and blew up the play. And that, again, that's the focus of this game. Offensive line was horrific. The offense wasn't great. I do think I really liked what they did schematically.
Yeah.
But
what did you think about Joe Johns today, being the first play caller, or I guess his first opportunity to be the play caller this season, in wake of all the Seth Littrell stuff last week?
It looked a lot better. I think that's pretty clear.
Okay.
It looked a lot better from a schematic standpoint. I thought guys were open. They were getting the ball quick out of Jackson's hands. I think late in the game, when you get down 2 scores, Ole Miss knows what you're doing.
Right.
They can pin their ears back. It's a lot harder to move the football in that way because, they're coming at you. And again, I don't fault Joe John for that. Were there a few play calls that you don't like? Yeah, the double pass down there on the 15-yard line in the fourth quarter, didn't love that play. The double reverse pass, which ended up, or in the first half, I think there was a penalty on that play, ends up working out for you, which, by the way, Ole Miss helped out Oklahoma a lot today with some just horrific penalties. But I thought overall Joe John did a good job. I thought the game plan was solid. Like I said, early in the game, they were moving the ball up and down the field. That you would have loved to finish it with a touchdown to start the game, but I didn't have a lot of issues with the game he called. He was trying to get the ball out quick. I thought Jackson played really well. He took a beating in the second half. I mean, just getting clobbered a few times.
That was the first time that I think that you saw an actual little bit of frustration from Jackson. I mean, it's not fun, I'm sure, getting your brains beat in every time that you catch the football.
Yeah, I thought he was post-game. I know you were over there, too. I don't know if you could hear him. The audio on some of the post-game is probably not going to be very good, but I thought he was really loose and confident in the postgame, kind of said, hey, like, what do I have to lose at this point?
He survived.
Yeah.
He survived the day.
Yeah.
I think that's a positive, right?
He was nearly murdered a few times, especially late in the game, dude. He was taking some hits that you're like, end it, get it over with. But I thought he played well. He hung in there, ran the ball really well. I really liked what they did with some of the quarterback run game. He's your guy moving forward. He is. He didn't turn the ball over. I mean, I guess he did on the fumble. I'm not going to blame him for that. He never saw that guy coming. The play was dead before it was even started. But I'm kind of concerned about the defense, Eddie, in some regard. I thought that they really lapsed at a few times today, that you expected them to stand up and get some stops. They didn't get any turnovers today. That's kind of been the theme the last couple weeks now. They haven't been able to get as many turnovers as they were early in the season. I know Jackson Dart's been really good with the football, but it felt like there was not even situations today where the ball was ever put in a situation that would have been in harm's way, and that's somewhat the defense not being able to get after him a few times. He escaped the pocket, made some really nice plays. One of the back-breaking plays of the game, Eddie, was the 3rd and long in the second half.
Exactly. 3rd and 13. Caden Woolard has the sack. They go to review. You feel like everything's been backed up, and then all of a sudden you bust one around the end there, and it was a great throw. It was a great catch.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes you just got to tip your cap. Kenai Walker can't peek back there in the backfield. Brent said that after the game, but that was a huge play, and it just felt like Ole Miss was getting guys wide open down the field, and that's concerning. And I'm interested to see, do they play more Eli Bowen going forward? Jacoby Johnson. We didn't see Devon Jordan, which he played a lot last week. I thought we might see him.
Vickers had got into the Texas game. Didn't see him today, I don't believe.
So I don't know. They played Michael Boganowski at safety some today. I wonder if we see him some more. But I don't know, Eddie. I don't want to say there's no moral victories. We're not going to sit here and tell you that. That's not true. And the standard in Oklahoma is not to just be competitive in football games.
Sure.
But where this thing was a week ago, I do think you have to say, okay, well, I guess they played better.
The reality of the situation is this is a bad football team that gave itself a chance today. And you can be disappointed all you want that they end up getting beat today, but I don't know. It's like there were some positives, but I think it's so far from the standard That's what everybody in the locker room or in the coach's office will tell you. The standard, it's far from. And I think that, like, now you're 1-4 in the SEC. I think that if that's not embarrassing enough, you start kind of working your way into what these last 4 games are going to be. And obviously you have something of what you would hope is a laugher next week against Maine, and then you jump back into SEC play. And I don't know. I mean, you asked Brent the question after the game today about, keeping everybody engaged, and this is what he had to say.
Again, you be honest with them. Sometimes the truth hurts, and again, these guys are. I've said it. People may not like that, but these are guys that deeply care. They care about each other. They care for their coaches. They care about their opportunity. They have a lot of respect for being an Oklahoma Sooner. What that means to them and their future. They believe in how we do what we do in regards to preparation and what the game requires and what success requires. But they also understand the game don't owe you nothing. You can do everything you're supposed to do and still be on the losing end of it. And you know what? Your investment week to week, your love and care and passion and energy and leadership can't be conditional. And not if you want to be successful. And at the end of the day, that's what life is. And it's about fighting and getting your ass off the ground and swinging and continue. You got to believe in yourself. If you don't believe in yourself, nobody will. And there's a certain way that you prepare. You can't go into it, 1 foot in, 1 foot out. As long as I make my plays or I get my opportunities, or almost you can promise me that we're going to win, man, you have no chance. And I think when guys are real and they're honest with themselves, and they know they have people around them that are going to tell them the truth, take responsibility and accountability for both success and failure. Everybody in that locker room, not just the players, but certainly them included. And so again, our guys care. You don't need no rah-rah speeches. This is a group of guys that, again, from a leadership standpoint, that they're going to fight and chase and having an expectation of that standard being met every single day. And even when you're 4-4, these guys aren't going to flinch. I promise you. And again, because I think everybody would expect everybody to be divisive, and just in the tanks and mentally, checking out and all those things. That's not these guys. It's not these guys, and that's not these coaches. And you got a group of guys that have some toughness to them, that care, highly invested, that they recognize, that's part of their legacy too.
So what's your overall feeling on that? I know that he's saying all the right things, right? But I think that there is a reality of the situation right now, that this is a team that's going through something that, a lot of other teams for the University of Oklahoma have not.
It's a hard sell to the fan base, what Brent's saying, but those guys have to internalize it in the locker room. They have to stick together, and you have to have guys like Danny Stutzman, Billy Bowman, and we've said those guys' names a lot, and we heard from them tonight. Certainly no quitting those 2 guys. You worry about some of the younger guys, guys that might be on the verge of, maybe entering the portal after the season, going to the NFL, things like that. That's where my question lies. Next week against Maine, just get through it. Hopefully nobody else gets hurt. Maybe.
My God, you hope that you go out and you have a very comfortable victory.
Yeah, you do. And then you turn around. Look, if they play like they did today in the first half, Eddie, they could have a chance against a team like Missouri, who I think has struggled a few times. Yeah. I'm just saying, they've struggled at times this year.
It's hard to find the positives right now.
But I walked away thinking, well, maybe they can find a way to win one more game other than Maine.
And that seems to be the goal now. Get to a bowl game, or get bowl eligible. And my God, does this team need 3 weeks of practice in December?
And I get it. For everybody out there, that is not the standard at the University of Oklahoma. We all understand that.
It's bullshit
It's total bullshit. But you have to realize this season has been lost for Oklahoma, but there's still a little bit to gain in terms of player development, trying to keep this thing together. Bowl game is worth it. Trying to get bowl practices, all those things, get some of those young guys some reps. Jackson Arnold some reps if he's your guy next year as well. And then you go into the offseason, which is going to be the biggest, most pivotal, and we're going to be talking about it for the next month and a half, most pivotal offseason of Brent Venables' career hiring a new offensive coordinator, which it seems like that's going to happen, going in the transfer portal and basically rebuilding this entire offense again. All of those things are happening soon, but you still want to see at least some improvement on the field moving forward these next few weeks, and maybe you can find a way to win one that no one thinks you're going to win.
The Grove?
Awesome.
Pretty badass.
I heard some OU fans saying, man, this puts to shame what OU does tailgating-wise. It puts everyone to shame. I thought Auburn had a great tailgating scene, and they do. The Grove is unbelievable. At Oklahoma, people are like, they need to recreate that. There's no recreating what they've got going on here. Cool. It was awesome.
It's cool. It was a really good atmosphere. Oklahoma does lose today. They fall to 4-4 on the season, and I think that there's going to be a lot of soul searching here over the last couple weeks, or next couple weeks, just for the fact that I don't know where this thing goes. I mean, you could really get into some territory that I don't think anybody wants to be in.
We're having a lot of dark thoughts over at Sooner Scoop right now.
And I think that's rightfully so.
Yes.
Special thank you to Academy Sports and Outdoors. Has all the gear you need from the top brands at all the prices you'll love. And now shopping at Academy is more convenient than ever. We offer free assembly on in-store purchases of bikes and grills, plus free and easy 1-hour curbside pickup on academy.com. Orders. Want to save even more every day? Huh? Open and use an Academy Sports and Outdoors credit card to get 5% off future purchases when you're approved. Save time and money at Academy Sports and Outdoors. Have fun out there. I know it's not going to be too much fun over the next couple weeks as Oklahoma kind of closes this 2024 football season out, but it's disappointing to a certain extent. I mean,
it's incredibly disappointing.
I don't understand, and we'll talk about it with Carrie Murdoch on the Eskridge Lexus postgame podcast. Might have a special guest this evening. I don't understand how this offensive line's so bad. I mean, they are one of the, if not the worst unit, not just in the SEC, but maybe in the country. They've given up the most sacks in the country.
It's definitely the worst offensive line, maybe in the Power Four. I would think. I would think it's up there. I mean, it's horrific. It's abysmal. I'm running out of adjectives for what this offensive line is. It's dog shit.
Yeah. I'd go with effing terrible, but, we're going to keep it clean. We're going to keep it PC. For George Stoya, I'm Eddie Radosevich. We'll see you on Monday for a recruiting report with Josh McQuistion. I'd been doing so well. Josh McQuistion, I'd been doing so well, I promise. He was out and saw a couple of Oklahoma commits over the course of the high school weekend, and then we'll wrap up everything on Monday afternoon with the Game Day Rewind back in Norman, back on Campus Corner. So for George, I'm Eddie. We'll see you right back here on the Soonerscoop.com YouTube channel.